Alright, hello. Hi everyone, and welcome to Rusty's Nitwit Corner. My name's Ayana. This is Rusty, my lovely co-host. And yeah, welcome to my knitting podcast. This is episode 2. I'm titling it Live from the Depression Nest. Welcome. You know, that's where we are today. Welcome to my depression nest. These are all my knit things. This is me on my little nest. Truly a thing I recommend. I have a tri-fold mattress. Hold on. I'm trying to make sure you're propped up nicely. I have a tri-fold mattress, and usually it's in like couch form, right? 2 of the folds, 1 here. And right now it is like this. So it gives me a nice workspace to have all my stuff and have my little nest. So yeah, it's been not a good brain week. Some would argue it was a bad one, and my knitting and crochet has given me a lot of peace and solace in this time, and also the past 2 weeks since 3 weeks since my lovely first episode was recorded. I recorded that one on October 9th, and it is November 2nd, which is a time. It's, oh wow, y'all. I don't hate to be political, I don't, because everything is political, and if you have the privilege of ignoring that, that is a privilege, yeah. But, yeah, everything's political. If you voted for Trump, leave. And I, like, mean that, actually. I'm black, yeah, and he doesn't like our people, and it will be a threat and danger to us if he wins. So right now is very much like an emotional purgatory, because, like, this is truly a historic moment. As a history buff, I promise you, this is a historic moment where we could either fall into a fascist dictatorship or have the first black woman president. And it's gonna be close. It's gonna be close. And I think all of you should be scared. And that is also why this episode is called Live, because my goal is to get this out on the 2nd, because I just need other human beings on the other side to say, I'm knitting too, this is so scary, because it is. Anyway, this is Rusty. I know you're going to ask questions about him, so let me tell you some things. He was my 15th birthday present. I'm 22 now. I got him when he was 3. He's 10. So, big guy. He's my little senior boy, and his favorite thing is to cuddle. I have a baby sling for him. I'll put in a picture. I'm very happy I think I'm in a good picture place. Editing Ayana can yell at me later if I'm not. Anyway, what's up? Yeah, this is Rusty. He's my best bud. He loves to cuddle, almost too much. Especially as a knitter, he's like, can I be in your business? Please, please, I love you, please, cuddle. And I'm like, I need my hands. Anyway, okay, enough of my rambling. Not really. I'm gonna ramble more, but like, let's get into the topic, yeah? Well, first, hi, welcome, if you're new here. If you're not, there's 5 people subscribed, which is crazy. I'm like, oh my god. Hi, 5 people. I love you. And I hope you're having a good time, I think. Okay, anywho. So, on our agenda today, we have 2 finished objects, a half object, some whips, some things that I had to put in jail. That's what I call my UFOs, my unfinished objects. Jail. And some future projects as well. And then I will end with my arts and culture section. where I give you some recommendations for music, podcasts, and different knitting creators, arts and culture. Anywho, let's start with my finished object that isn't actually finished. Okay, but it is. It is finished. It will be soon. Yeah? You'll see. The knitting is done. I just have to do, like, the finishing. And what I'll say about finishing, like, weaving in ends and stuff, for me, it's, like, fun. Because it's, like, the last moments you get to, like, spend with an object, and you get to, like, reflect on the time you had with it, be grateful for it, and then it becomes something you can wear. Yay. So, I don't know, it's, like, a fun process. And I don't like to force myself to do it. I don't like to rush on it, because it's an experience, you know, it's an emotional thing for me. So, yeah, it's not fully done yet, but it will be. It will be wearable, hopefully within the week. Anyway, but my very first garment, is done. Now, this is risky, because there's, like, strings on it, and Rusty is right here. So, hi. Can I move you? He'll come back very quickly, I promise. Oh, what's going on here? I love this little boy. I promise you I love him so much, and he gets so much attention and love. It's just, Mom is at work, and now he's nestled in the knitting. Sweet boy. Anyway, my first garment is done, and girl, it was a journey. Girl, can I say it was a journey? Look at it. I adored it. It's great. The thing that's happening is that I know for a fact, based on looking on it, I picked up too many stitches for the neck, so I'm gonna have to redo it. I'm doing a crochet neck because picking up necklines isn't fun. Like, it's not. Well, it's not hard, and you can do it. But for me, I just needed something to make it not roll. I didn't need, like, more ribbing at the neck. So I was like, you know, I might as well crochet it. I might as well. I'm grateful to the crochet skills I have, and I don't know. I try to keep, like, if there's something I can crochet in a knit item, I'll do it. Because it's a skill I value. You'll see more of it. But, you know, I don't want to forget my roots, I guess. Anyway, it started as my purple top, and you can see that there's a lot more colors. This was a journey. So, all of the yarn is thrifted. It's my first garment ever. All of the yarn is thrifted. I used the internet tutorial, how to improvise a raglan sweater. It is in the description box of my last video. Go look at that, please. My show notes will not be as detailed this time, but if you have questions, just write them, and I will answer, I promise. But it's all very soft, superwash merino. The purple was like worsted weight. It's discontinued, I can tell you that. And it's so pretty, and it has this lovely seed stitch border to it. I love it. There's more seed stitch. I really like knitting seed stitch and 1x1 stuff. That's what I've learned. It's very fun for me. And I can do it without looking, mostly. Still practicing, but mostly. But yeah, I obviously lost yarn chicken, is what you're looking at. And I had to figure out how to deal with that. And I had this moment, I was like, okay, I don't know what I should do. What should I do? And I read tarot, like, personally for me, like, it lives on my desk. Just when I have, like, a moment where it's like, well, I don't know what to do right now, I'll ask the cards, because usually they're right. Like, usually. And, you know, I asked on this, and it was like, 1, you're doing too many things right now, pare down. And 2, you already have what you need. And I was like, what the fuck? No, I don't. No, I don't. Like, I literally do not have what I need. That is a lie. And I'm angry about it. But, what I will say is that it was right. The cards were right, as they are. I had to go to my local thrift store that I love so much. It's where, if I say something's thrifted, it's almost certainly from there. I love it. But, I went there. I looked in the yarn bin. Did not find, like, magical yarn, like, when I found the 2 skeins of this purple. So, no. I then, like, went through the sweaters, and I was like, what if I, like, frog a sweater? No. And then I was, like, about to leave, and I'm like, oh, should I go, like, to the other Goodwill? And then I was like, other Goodwill? Yeah, I do have what I need, because I got all of these minis. I think there's 6 of them? 7? Yeah. This section, and then the pink is held double, and then this middle one with the mint is just held double, but like one color. Anyway, but yeah, like I had these minis from, oh my god, I'm happy I put my tags in here. I think Emma's Yarn, come on, yes, Emma's Yarn. Yes, it wasn't Advent, but someone donated the full Advent. I only took a couple of them because, like, I could have taken all of them because it's a fade. But I was like, no, like, I'm so happy to find these. I want someone else to find some too. So I took the colors I wanted. Anyway. But, yeah. And it's, like, silly. Like, I love it. Like, I was excited. When I went into it, I thought I was going to have a fully purple garment and I was going to win Yarn Chicken, but it's more fun to have, like, used up all of this lovely thrifted yarn and have this funky little top, I think. I like things that look handmade. It's why I make them. And yeah, those are my reflections on this top. It's my best friend's favorite color is purple, so I was very much thinking of him while I was making it. And yeah, this is very silly, but what I'll say is my birthday's on April 19th, or 420 Eve, as we call it. So it's a part of my life, is what I'll say. And this sweater is my purple grinder sweater. It is a piece of paraphernalia, I'll say, that you use for the activity. Yeah, it's a grinder. I don't know how to explain that further, but I got mine from my older sister. It was like a little, it's a family heirloom. I'll pass it down to my kids one day. But, yeah, I don't know. I have a lot of memories from my entire friend group with that grinder. But especially my bestie who loves purple. Jake, I miss you. Wow. Anyway, I'm going to visit him in February and I'm gonna wear this. But he lives in the South. Like, he lives in fucking South Carolina now. And it might be too hot, but thinking of you, King, and that was the motivation for the sweater. Seed stitch is fun, and also, horrible thing, I did switch knitting styles. Which we'll talk more about, but only for this green section, mostly. And then a little in the ribbing, and then I gave up. But we'll get to the new knitting style soon. Love this first garment. It is literally the first garment I've ever made, so no matter what, I will always love it, and it will always be special to me. So it doesn't need to be perfect. It is just yarn, and that is something I will say for the rest of my days. It's just yarn. Nothing's that serious. And then my next one is lovely because it makes this an outfit. It is just a revamp to another thrifted skirt. I thrifted this sometime in college. I wore it a little bit during student government when we had to wear business professional. So I looked like a waiter at a fancy restaurant. It was horrible. I had to wear all black. And then we switched to business casual because professionalism is just racism in a blazer. Like, it is just racism in a blazer. And yeah, so we downgraded to business casual, where it's like you look nice, but wear something you like, effectively. And yeah, I did DEI work in college, but I added this lovely little crochet fringe to the bottom. I think it's so funny that you can see his little face in the corner. I'll try to make sure you get some rusty cam action. But yeah, I added a crochet bordered. It is so fun to stab the fabric and go very cathartic. You'll see me do it again. I used this dictionary, Melissa Leapman's Indispensable Stitch Collection for crocheters. Another project with it to come. But yeah, I just did a couple rows of single crochet, and then I did one of the edge treatments. It's super cute, and it was a good proof of concept for the next project. Next crochet clothing thing that you'll see soon-ish. So those are my finished objects. Yay. I'm happy with those two finishes. I think I'm probably gonna be working like a garment a month. That seems pretty standard for me and my pace, but yeah, probably a garment and accessory a month. But I'm not in a rush. I don't knit things because it's fast. I don't knit things because it's fast. Nextly, I have a half object. My half object, of course, is one of my sock tubes. Yay. So this is a sock tube of Patton's Croy Eclipse stripes. I'm working on the second one now. But yeah, it's a sock. You knit the tube. My plan for these is to cut in the heel for this before I get there. Before I get to heel time on this. Because I just want to make sure it works. And that I have functional socks before I knit an entire tube and then regret it. You know? But yeah, it's 200 rows, 15 of ribbing, of 1x1 ribbing, because 1x1 ribbing is kind of fun to me. I'm enjoying it. I don't know. And that is also the same as seed stitch. I really like seed stitch. It's been really meditative lately. So yeah, that is my half object. Nice and easy breezing through. Next, whips. Next to my whips. So happy. Okay, my first one is my new garment. I was so excited when I got to start it this week, because I was done with the purple one, like when that was set to block. I started this. So I'm on a swatch because here's a rant. This is our first rambly diversion. Also, number one, I was trying to wear like a handmade item, but these like sock yarn hats and these headphones don't go well together. They're good for outside, but I'm taking my hat off. This is the depression nest. It's all about being comfy and cozy. Anyway, my swatch. This is for my green vest. I've talked. If you want to like know what's up, if you're into this, watch my first video for like context to everything. But I'm here for progress, girl. But I am making this in another discontinued yarn from Cloudborne Fibers, same as the purple. But it is this gorgeous green heather in 100% fine Highland wool, and oh my goodness, it is gorgeous. It is so pretty. It's been unseasonably warm here, So I've been able to like sit outside this week, which is good for my brain to be outdoors. Go outside. I need to go outside today. Remind me. But yeah, I was sitting and looking outside and like looking at the yarn, and I was like, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. The special thing about this watch is that I, as I said before, am switching my knitting style. Well, I'm learning another one because I'd like to be able to like knit freestyle, kind of like in swimming, where you just kind of mix it up. Especially because I knit a lot, and it will also be my profession, so I should know to knit as many ways as possible. It also, for me, it's helpful to like, as I learn to like teach and stuff, become a knitting instructor, it's helpful for me to like connect with the frustration of it being hard. I have never struggled a single day with any of the fiber arts. I will say that. It's always been easy for me. It's the only thing that's ever been easy for me. Fighting for my life in school, but yeah, like as an educator, I originally went to... How much about me do you need to know? Okay, so since high school, like, I've been teaching. I love working with people of all ages, teaching them new things. I love to learn new things, and learning and teaching, I think, are very much one thing for me. I very much live by the, like, old adage that, like, you don't understand something until you're able to teach it to a child. And thus, I teach children many things. And one day I will teach them to knit, and it will be awesome. But it will also be hard. So, that's, like, my motivation to keep learning new things and, like, being confused about knitting, is understanding that, like, initial confusion, but that desire to learn. So, I'm learning flicking, which, that's how Very Pink knits, and, like, she's made it a significantly more popular knitting style, because, like, in her initial video, she's like, no one really knits like this. Girl, everyone knits like that now. Like, every English knitter who doesn't want to move their arm anymore knits like Very Pink knit style. But, of course, we all have an individual knitting style. So I'm learning flicking. It is tricky and also fun. Like, whenever I'm, like, in flow with it, like, it feels like I have a little lasso. And also I'm like, what the hell is going on here? This is so hard. But it's fun. My purl tension is significantly better. I'm not getting any rowing out, and I feel good about it. But I am committed to doing this entire garment flicked. All of it. I cannot cheat. And a lot of it will be stockinette, so it's good practice for my knits and my pearls. There will be a cable panel down the middle, most likely this one. I went to the library and copied it out of the book, the Japanese Knitting Stitch Bible. But probably this, and then like some kind of border stitch. I don't know if it will be this. It might be this because I love leaves and things. But we'll see. We will freaking see. But yeah, I'm doing a nice big swatch, and then it'll be blocked, and then I'll do my cable swatch, and I will block that, take my measurements, figure out the vest, and then we'll be able to cast on hopefully by the end of next week. Hopefully. But I'm not in a rush. Like, once again, we don't knit because it's fast. But yeah, also another thing, I've really been enjoying hand-wound balls. My ball winder broke when me and my little sister were winding up my purple yarn. It was really funny. So I've had to start winding things by hand, and I like it. Like, I like it a lot because, number one, it's like this little activity where you get to say hello to, like, all of the yarn. Like, all of the yarn you're about to make to an object, you say, hi friend, what should you be? And I like that. It also kind of works better. Like, it kind of works better because I do have a single cake in this yarn that happened before the purple yarn. It was like, we did one of the green because I thought I was going to swatch with it, and then we were in purple world, and then my thing broke. Anyway, but I was starting with a cake, and like, it kind of twists your yarn in a weird way that was very frustrating, so I had to spit splice the ball in, which is fine. It's fine. But just learning that about myself, I like hand binding balls of yarn, and then it just can live in a little bag or a yarn bowl. That's my next thrifted find I'm trying to find, is a good yarn bowl, but we shall see. We shall see. I think that's everything for my green vest. I'll let you know more when there's more to talk about. Nextly, finally out of gusset purgatory. The gusset, that is purgatory for me and my socks, and I need to get through that because I do like the process of doing one, but sometimes I hate it, and there was a brief period where Magic Loop was giving my hands problems, but I think it's better now. I don't know, girl. But my black cable socks are through gusset purgatory and to my flat rib foot, so those should be done very soon because it's flat rib on the top, stockinette on the bottom, so it's nice and easy knitting to bring with me, where it's like engaging but not hard. Not hard at all. Next whip is, this is a crochet one, is that I've started, like, you know, like a comfy, like those big hoodies that like are like Snuggie adjacent. I'll put up a picture if I can find one. I'm making one of those in fuzzy ombre chenille blanket yarn. I'm like halfway done with the top, well, the front. I'm just gonna do a simple drop shoulder where you sew this, you leave a neck, you sew this together, and then I'll make a hood, a hood is just a square that you sew on the top. You can do some decreasing to make it less pointy, but you'll be fine. Anyway, but yeah, this is just kind of what I work on when in bed, if I would like to crochet before bed, or when I just want to touch something fuzzy, dude. Sometimes you need to touch fuzzy things. Excuse me. So yeah, that is Fluffy Hoodie. And then something that I finally started last night and will be my main whip for the next few days is my election evening dress, because the way I see it, the way it is that it is either the best night of my life or the night the world ends. So I think I should have a cute little outfit for it. I am not far. I'm not far, but I'm going to explain what this will be. This is, once again, thrifted from my local thrift store. My older sister thrifted it, I think, when she was in high school, maybe. So a while ago. And it's like this lovely Banana Republic, like, business casual, pencil-y dress, right? You see it? I took the sleeves off of it a few years back. I think sometime in 2020 when I was just like, I had a seam ripper and a bunch of time. And then I was like, I don't know what this will be, but I'm gonna mix it up. And now we're finally here. So, this is my Kamala Brat Green dress. If you're unfamiliar with Brat by Charlie XCX, if you are older than maybe 35, it's very like those kids and their music. But if you want to be in the club, it's good. Like, it's very good. I've enjoyed the remixes she released this month. But I'm working on the bottom, and it's going to be this very extravagant crochet flounce in black and also Brat Green. Thank you. Just fluorescent green. I love this yarn by Joann's. I don't know what color. Don't worry about it. is the bright green one. Yeah. He's so cute. I love him. But yeah, I'm just gonna have fun crocheting the big flounce on the bottom, and then I'm gonna do big dramatic sleeves. And that will be what I do for the next few days, instead of dreading the end of the world. I am making this garment as a record of this historic moment, and then I can also just wear it to different events, because it's definitely something I'll wear. It's because it's ridiculous and a little ugly, but also handmade. I also need to shout out my inspiration for this knitting cult lady. I love that woman. She's so cool. Is Daniela the coolest woman in the world? You could argue that. I will. She's so cool. But yeah, I will talk more about her in my arts and culture section so that we don't start rambling, but love her. And she crochets and knits really wacky clothes, and I love them. And I'm like, yeah, let me do it. Let me make wacky stuff too. I love to make wacky little things. So those are my whips. Yeah, those are my whips. Okay, next is jail. Straight to jail. If you know that Parks and Rec thing, that lives rent-free in my head. You make too many expensive sweaters. Jail. Anyway, sorry. And here's the thing, that could happen here. Like, it's a joke about fascism. Crazy stuff. Okay. Some things that went to jail. Number one, this. This lovely pink shawlette, you saw it in my last video, went to jail maybe third week of October, because it was on my short chalgu cord. I needed it for my sleeves, and I was like, no, jail girl, I don't like you right now. But she'll come out of jail soon, I'll explain. Next thing that was put in jail that will not be coming out. Like, this next thing is in the penitentiary. Like, no. Oh, wow. Okay. This is my brown fluffy hat. I started it in 2x2 women. And this was my first attempt to learn flicking. No. Do a knit side and a purl side. That's what I need to do. Not 2x2. I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. And I was doing it in, like, whatever hobbies, like, house brand wool is, and then they're, like, alpaca fluffy stuff. And it's kind of a mess in there. I don't love it, and I need to get my pink shawl out of this real quick. So, I will cut while I do this. Okay, we've done it. This will be going back in jail. I do need to grab the needles off of it, so I can transfer this, because I use my zings for jail. I am so sad. Okay, I started vlogging a bit in October. None of them are out yet, because I realized I hate editing vlogs. Luckily, my older sister will be doing it for me. It's just, you'll get them eventually. Like, there's no timeline for them now, because my sister is doing them for free. So, I promise you'll get more of, like, the raw and unfiltered version of this crisis later. But yeah, my zing needles were the first pair of interchangeable needles I ever got when I was in Florence. We'll touch more on that in a moment. But I don't like them because they're 4-inch tips and they hurt my hands. I prefer 5-inch, but also I'm like, now that I'm learning to flick, I don't know if I like the 5-inch. We're figuring it out. We'll be okay. But I have freed this. This will be getting back on my needles for the election week. Because I think I just need to look at nice colors. I think that's what I need. Free me, please. Anyway, that's jail. Only one thing in jail now. Well, 1.5. The next thing in jail. I've said that this one is on parole because it's been let out of the jail bag. Sorry, bud. He is going through a lot over here. He's like, what the fuck is going on, Mom? I am profane, and I am not sorry about that. I'm not. Bad words aren't bad. Only bad time. And the time is a YouTube video right now. As you may know, this is my brown cable scarf. The very first bit of cable knitting I ever did. I started it right after I graduated, like a few weeks. Hey girl. Okay. You can hang out here because you're a sweet little boy and there's less strings now. Anyway. But I have been working on it and there was a lot of fun with it at first. Well, during a bit of summer I was really enjoying it. And then, especially in September and October, it just kind of was lingering on my needles. I have to say that. And this week, during my grumpy week, I finally had the strength to say, Ayana, you don't want to do this anymore. Like, Ayana, you don't want to work on this. This isn't fun. Because this pattern, practice makes perfect, repeats itself. It gives you a chance to practice like all these different things leading up to this complex motif at the top, right? And I was in the second bit of the complex motif, and I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. And that's okay. So I took it off my needles, took the yarn off, and decided on using this for something. Like, it will become a piece of something, because it's important. Like, it's the first piece of cable knitting I've ever done. So originally I was thinking, like, oh, it could be a back panel for a sweater. But now, my actual thought is I'm going to use the rest of the yarn, sorry, it's in my shawl bin, with my half and half wrap of Florence fame. And I have like a bunch more yarn, because there's supposed to be a second side that's either the same or you design it yourself for the stole. And I just don't want to do that. So I'm going to figure out something, shawl, modular shawl, I think, using the piece I have and the extra yarn, lovely modular cable shawl that will be nice for winter, is the current plan. My Euclid comes in today or tomorrow, and we'll figure it out from there. But yeah, that's my motivation to keep working on my half and half wrap. Rusty and my half and half wrap are not friends because it is a big project and he is a lap cat, so it doesn't really work. And it's also taught me, Ayana, there is not a single world in which you need another square shawl again. Your cat loves you too much for that to really be functional. But yeah, that's jail. And yeah, I've also learned that I get bored easily. I don't want to knit the same thing twice, really. Like, of course there's things that I like to knit that are like meditative and things, but like, if I'm doing complex work, it needs to be different. I don't want to do the same thing twice. But yeah, that's me and my vibe. Like, for patterned socks, you will never see me ever again knit 2 of the same pattern. No, it stays on my needles too long, so I've learned this about me. Okay, nextly, future projects. This will be quick. Rusty, are you excited for our future projects? I hope. Anyway, so there's a few sections. First is my election projects. I'm doing some, I guess, separate things during the election because, once again, this is a historic moment that I think needs its own container in my work. And I'm gonna be like sitting and doing a lot of like watching of CNN and shit over the next few days. So I needed some things to work on. First, of course, my Kamala dress. That's what I'll be working on before the election. Then I pulled my pink shawlette out of jail because this is a perfect, dude, no, environment to practice my flicking skills because I'm doing a lot of garter stitch. And the colors are pretty and nice, and it'll be a nice mindless thing to work on that can also just like add little patterns wherever I want. Yeah, I'll probably add some patterns from the Vogue Stitch Dictionary that I got from the library earlier this week, I think. And then I also need to reset the swatch yarn. I will do that probably today. I also will be starting another pair of socks because I get to have a treat. Like, I get to have a treat from this. It's okay. And also, for like the rest of like the pattern score I have left, I'm gonna probably like alternate socks. I will get all of the pairs eventually, but it's fun to have a little more novelty on my needles. But I'm gonna do 70 stripes, which it's pointed because there's blue and red in it, but also yellow and orange and colors I like. And the special thing about these, they will be my first socks on DPNs, and I will be flicking them as well because socks are a great way to like fix your tension. If you have tension issues, learn to knit socks because it forces you to get your life together and like learn how to knit well. Not well, like you're not knitting badly if you have tension issues. I hope you're having fun. Just neater because the yarn's smaller and stuff. Like, sincerely, these two sides are different, and the difference is, for one, I was not knitting socks, and the other I was. And the green, I think I'm gonna run out of the green yarn in the next few rows, but it's not gonna have as much white as the orange side. Anyway, but yeah, I'm gonna start those. I'm gonna do them toe up so that I don't have to think about a heel or estimating things. No, thank you. So yeah, I'm gonna bang out that spiral toe sometime in the next few days because I can do that in about an hour, and I don't need a pattern anymore. I can do it from my brain. Go me. So yeah, those will be the things I'm working on during the election. I don't know if, I think when I'm like actively watching political things, I will not be allowed to touch my swatch. Because, where is this yarn? Oh, the needles are out, that's why. I didn't know that I didn't put them back in the bag. Sorry. Oh, hey buddy, you can have your spot back, I'm sorry. Dude, you cannot sit there. He's left. He will come back soon. Anyway. Okay. So, future plans for the next time I see you. In a perfect world, I will have my eclipse stripe socks done. Progress on, well, I'll be cast on to my green vest. And then I counted out how many more rows I have in this shawl. Once again, I am fighting for my life at the end of my square shawl. I have 36 more rows. That is like all of these, if you're unfamiliar with the pattern. I am sniffly. Let me fix this. The power of editing. So I have 36 rows left on my half and half wrap, and I want to wear this so badly. Like, I need it. I need it on me before the end of the year. There are 36 left. When I'm back in 2 weeks, I would like to only have 18 left, which sounds crazy, and it is, because it's a lot of knitting, but I'm trying to like put this like in the center of my home knitting. Will be the goal. If I don't get all 18 done, I will be okay with 10. I will put in markers to, help us keep track of our goals as well, little progress keepers. And then, yeah, those are my goals. Welcome to the arts and culture section. This is where I give you my recommendations of things to consume that I've been enjoying since I last saw you. First, albums. I'm gonna just list them, and I will also write them down. I recommend Loss of Life by MGMT. It's very cinematic, very cool. Cacophony by Paloma. Once again, very cinematic and cool. Covers, the pain of being a woman dealing with men, and, in very, thoughtful ways. Nextly, Declan McKenna, love that guy, love him. I love his music. He can write an album. Listen to any of them. The one that I've really been liking this month is What Happened to the Beach. It is summery, but, it's just fun. It's just infectious, dude. Good time. He's also just released a single called Champagne, and I've been shaking my little hips to it. It's so fun. Yeah, recommend Declan McKenna in general. Next, Adele. It's fall, you need a little Adele. 25 is probably my favorite Adele album. And I've been adding 30 into my album rotation as well. 30, for me, the first time I listened to it, I was like, wow, this album makes me want to get divorced. But, I also don't, I watched my parents go through, this horrific, very ugly divorce. No, thank you. Don't want that, but, I know when I'm older, I'll get it more. Then, I also love Songs by Adrienne Lenker. Came out in 2020. I appreciate a lot of the albums that people came out with during that year. Very interesting artistic moment to have everyone have to go inside and figure it out, but super cool. Love that album. Okay, podcasts. I highly recommend The Culting of America. It is hosted by Knitting Cold Lady, as I mentioned before. She is probably one of my favorite creators on the interwebs, because she's a connection of two of my lifelong special interests of knitting and cults, and overall coercive control. So very, very cool woman with a very interesting life story. I recommend her memoir. Wow. It's a book. Recommend it. It's a very interesting one. And yeah, her work is very poignant, as we could have a cult leader running America soon. soon. And that is scary, girl. That is very scary. But the Culting of America walks through her model of cults. She is a cult scholar. And yeah, walks through the model and then talks about like the cultiness of just like different organizations in America, because our nation is a very culty place. Like, the Puritans were a cult and they came here and they started a cult called America. And like the Mormons in Utah, that's a cult, and they have a state. Yeah, it's crazy here, you guys. Watch her content and she'll give you a little more fun and pizzazz. If you've gotten this far in this video, you would love Knitting Cult Lady, okay? And another thing is that one of my projects for the election will be making an amigurumi cat for her crazy cat lady cult coat that she will be wearing to Kamala's inauguration, because that is happening. I'm speaking it into existence. I'm gonna make a cat about it. It's gonna be okay. And yeah, so I will be making that, and I'm very excited. It will be the first amigurumi I actually design myself, so it'll get my mind off of things. Anyway, and then another podcast I will recommend is Decoding the Gurus. It is a Northern Irish cognitive anthropologist and an Australian psychologist, so you get two very fun accents and distinct voices. And they decode like the manipulation tactics that of different figures in general, but it's helpful to see it in like a parallel context so you can see it in your real life. So they specifically cover like secular gurus. They have like an entire concept that they're studying right now through these people. It's super interesting. But a good example is Jordan Peterson. If you don't know who Jordan Peterson is, especially if you're a Gen Z woman, you should. you should, because he's a major thought leader for Gen Z men, and he's very scary and is a red flag. No, if there is a man in your life and he's super into Jordan Peterson, no, like, that is very scary to me, and I'm gonna say that. Nextly, I recommend American Hysteria. Well, finally, Decoding the Gurus. It's what I listen to when, like, I need to focus on a task and, like, need to be, like, put somewhere and, like, listen to something. It's good for weaving in ends. Or when I'm going to sleep, because you just listen to a lot of men say things that don't make sense and you kind of zone out. It works well. And then finally, love American Hysteria. It is my favorite podcast ever. It is certainly very poignant. It talks about different hysterias and panics across American history, because we are a very hysterical, culty place. Once again, all of these podcasts go together. You'd like all of them. If you like one, you'd like all. Chelsea, the host, has an amazing, very relaxing voice. I love them. And some episodes I will recommend is the one on how fascism works. If you've heard me throw around the word fascist and you're like, what does that mean? Go up, listen to that episode. They have a great interview. Next, their series on the Satanic Panic, because if you don't understand the Satanic Panic, you can't understand QAnon or Trump. So go get that historical context. It happened in the 80s. And then 2 episodes that are like my comfort episodes that I listen to when I just want to listen to a good story that I like. The one on astrology, and it's specifically on different political leaders and how they've used astrology across American history, because politicians are just like you, and politics is about controlling the future, so people use all of the tools that we've had. And then also the episode on the Indiana cyclone. It never ceases to make me cackle. It is so funny, and very good. You'd love it. But yeah, the final thing is 3 knitting creators I've really been enjoying this month. Past 2 weeks. I don't even know, month. Number 1, Stockinette Bitch. She's so funny. She's from Germany. She's just adorable. I love her knitting. I love her. She's great. Cinema Knit. She's from England. I love her. She's great. And a note that I said after listing the 2 of them was, I think being in your 20s is just wishing you were in your 30s, because they are both women in their 30s. And I just wish I knew what was going on. I do. And I think it's so cool that our little craft of knitting connects us all across the world. And they're very cool. And also, Seiji Fields. All of these people will be written down below, and you will be able to click their videos and have a great time. She's from Denmark. One of those places. I think Denmark. She does a lot of Japanese knitting as well, and I'm like starting to get into that too. I think she speaks and reads it. So, I don't know all her business, but she's cute and adorable, and she does a little dance at the beginning of her episodes, and she knits, and yeah. I don't know how old she is though, because black don't crack, as we say. And yeah, like in college I just kind of looked at myself when I was like 22, well now, and I was like, okay, yeah, this is how I will look for the next 20 years. According to the photos of my mom aging through those 20 years, and, you know, the women before her as well, in my family, this is it. This is what I will look like. And I'm so grateful. It almost makes up for racism. It almost does. So yeah, I think that is all I have today. I'm feeling a lot better in the depression nest now, after just talking about my favorite thing for an hour. My favorite things. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you didn't, don't tell me. If you did though, like, subscribe, leave me a comment. What were you working on while we sat and had this chit chat? What are you thinking about working on? Do you have any questions for me? Yeah. I think my next video will be on tension, because it's something I've been thinking about a lot, and I do think I have some helpful ideas to add to the knitting thinking space, because sometimes you just need a video from like a random person to explain something, and you're like, oh my god, yes. And if I can add to the random people who will talk about knitting on the internet, I will. So we're going to talk about tension, learning new knitting styles in my next video. But yeah, I think that's it. I think it's my snack time. Yeah, it's 10:30. I think it's almost snack time. And I think I'm going to do some fun knitting. I don't know when I'm going to start. And wait, no, I have to edit this. That is what I said I was gonna do. That is horrible, but I will. And yeah, if you're in the US, please go vote. Like, please, like, this election will only be won if people go and vote, and you are a person in the US, please go vote. If you're disenfranchised, I'm sorry. Tell everyone you know to go vote. Because a lot of people in our country are disenfranchised, aka have their right to vote taken away. But yeah, I don't know. It's a weird time to be alive, and you know, what's that Elizabeth Zimmerman quote? Like, our knitting fairy godmother, knit confidently through all crises. I'm filming on my phone. I can't. Let me find it, because you should hear it. Okay. 2 great Elizabeth Zimmerman quotes for us all. Okay. Maybe 3. But the one that I was trying to get at is knit on with confidence and hope through all crises. She was alive during both world wars. So, and I think she lived in Europe. So I believe her on that. And also, another great one, properly practiced, knitting soothes the troubled spirit, and it doesn't hurt the untroubled spirit either. I love funny women in the time where women weren't allowed to be funny. So important. And also, especially if you're like, how can Ayana knit without looking? This is a beautiful one. She says, What? You can't knit in the dark? Stuff and nonsense. Anybody can. Shut your eyes. Knit 1 stitch. Open your eyes and look at the stitch. It's all right. Shut your eyes and knit 2 stitches. Open them, shut them, knit 3 stitches. And this is how she learned to knit without looking. I'll add knitting without looking into my tension video. We'll do that. Because I have like my specific way I learned, because I had light and it was not World War I and World War II in Europe for me. And, God bless her. Thank you, knitting grandma, great grandma. Peace be with you. Okay, I think that's all I have. It is. I need to stop talking. Okay, bye.